Hello, and welcome to my sketchbook tour. Now, I have not done this before, so excuse the slightly awkward setup. I am on my floor, because my desk, it's not just a mess, it's the fact that, let's just say it's not the ideal setup, so we're having to make do. This here is my sketchbook. Firstly, I will, it is a process. This here was my last sketchbook, and the thing is that it took me pretty much the entire year, and most of it was done in the latter part of the year. So I did this sketchbook in about 11 months, compared to this sketchbook, which was 2 months. So it is drastically different, if you can't tell. This is a crescent render sketchbook. I bought it because I thought I was going to get more into doing more coloured, like Copic marker drawings, but I very quickly found that I didn't want to do many Copic marker drawings because I didn't like doing them. This is the cover. These are my sacred Tricky Wagon stickers that I've been holding on for a very long time, but I finally decided to let go of. There are more on the back. This is a Pride Week sticker. I have so many of these, like I have 2 on this sketchbook, and that's because I got pretty much all of the stickers that my school didn't use, and yeah, so I have about 4 pages at least. As I said, this is a bit of a transitional type sketchbook, as you can tell from the fact that there is a drastically different time between the time it took to... Honestly, my last 2 sketchbooks took me an extremely long time compared to these. This sketchbook here, these stickers here are ones I had from Redbubble from a very long time ago, and I just decided to stick them in here. This is where my phone number is, so it stays hidden. Thank you very much. These are by Alan Torre. I'm pretty sure that is. Mind you, this was years ago that I decided to buy these. So this was my first page. Now, I really enjoy fashion poses. I just think they're so cool, they're so vibey. I did it in pen. I went over it this was Copic. I went over it, one, to see, because the whole vibe with the crescent render sketchbooks is that unlike a lot of sketchbooks, you can put marker down on one side and it won't bleed through into the other. Except you'll find out why I really hate the sketchbook, so hold on. Pretty okay with that. I don't know how to use markers. Okay, you'll see that I've decided not to learn how to use markers with Copics because I'm too scared to use my Copic markers. Anyway, these are some pen sketches. Now this here is a gouache piece with the worst gouache in existence. Like, this brown is so patchy. Like, these colors, this yellow is pretty okay for what it is, but yeah, it's just not fun to use. So that's when I realized I need different gouache. So here's some pen sketches with some wild proportions, but I like the vibe, I quite like this one here. I did a lot of pen sketching in my previous sketchbook. I usually choose cool references from Pinterest and then just go with that. I actually documented this process, but this is me trying to use the gouache to actually do a portrait of some sort. Yeah, it was a struggle. But I tried my best, and you may notice this face, and that is because this sketchbook, one of the many reasons why I do not recommend it, is it is so much ghosting. I've never had so much ghosting in a sketchbook before. And I have a stack of sketchbooks, mind you. But it's wild. Just a lady randomly trying to do folds. Yep, I tried to do coloured pencil, but with the random pencils that I had, yeah, not my favourite thing at all. It's a bit rocky at the start, I have to say. Here are some Jack Frost. Well, this is a Jack Frost actual reference, and these were Jack Frost face claims. But yeah, not really feeling this. Now, as I said, here are my Vogue type JoJo poses, photography that I quite like, and I'm drawing poses from. Cool shoes, I really like cool shoes, especially wildly different shoes, like this, and here's another wildly different type of shoe. Here we have some, you know, I don't mind this, but I especially like, you'll see what I do when I really like a sketch of some sort, I'll put a little heart by it. And this is sort of how I differentiate between sketches that I'm not the biggest fan of compared to what I do enjoy. Now, I just got the jelly gouache that everyone talks about, and I swatched them, but I made the mistake of taking them out before I wrote down all the colours, because you'll see here that some of these don't even have names, because I couldn't even tell which ones were which, and even some of these were a major guess. Now, I started the sketchbook wanting more coloured pieces, doing more like gouache, pencil, and marker, but you'll find I don't do that, and I'll explain why. But this was an attempt with the jelly gouache, and it did not go well, to say the least. So I decided to start this course on Class 101 called Capture Human Nature with Pencil and Gouache, and I'll put the name of the person who does it on the screen because I cannot pronounce their name, but the most stunning art ever, and that's pretty much where it takes me for a while. Doing pencil sketches. These are various references from Pinterest. I don't really have too much to say. We have some more references from Pinterest that some cool looking fashion, as well as just cool looking fashion, portraits, etc. Some more portraits, and you can tell I never like all of them. I think sketchbooks are difficult. I never like all of them. I really don't like this one here, but I really like this one here. So for every 10 sketches, you'll get at least a few ones. This is part of the course. These are just more portraits and a dog. So this is a disaster page. I like these, but all of these really here, nothing was kind of coming together. And I never like rip pages out or do anything like that, because I think they're an important part of progress. This is another page that did not go very well. End of story. Here is pretty much the only pen sketches in here. Legolas, and then some other stuff from the course. And a random rose that I stuck in. I decided to draw. Some more random stuff. I was kind of really finding my feet. Like all of this here, I didn't really have much that I was confident in exactly, so I was just flicking around, doing stuff, seeing what worked. This is sort of the same sort of gist, more pen sketches. Just trying to figure out what works, but not knowing exactly what to do. Another page that wasn't exactly a success, but I have stuff I like from it, like this sketch here, and I actually quite like this Spider-Man. I was playing through Spider-Man, the game. Here are some more. I actually don't mind some of these. Like, I quite like the shapes on this one, and I quite like this child and this. These are quite similar looking at them now. Some more. Also, a bit of another thing is that this sketchbook is absolutely dreadful at lying flat. More on why I really dislike it. Like, I've tried so much and it just doesn't lie flat. I've had to tape down a lot of these pages when I was having to sketch because it was just really frustrating. Just some more sketches, trying to figure out a style, trying to just, continuing to sketch at least a bit every day, that sort of thing. I actually quite like this page. I quite like this cat. I like this portrait. I like this guy here. I like this guy here. I'd say it was a relative success. This is a bit more random. We don't have a lot of cohesive. I don't really focus on spreads, how they look. Like, I'd like to, and that's again going to be one of my goals for my next sketch. Sorry. This is one of those references that you save knowing you don't have the skill to draw it. And I saved it a long time ago. And this day was when I decided, okay, I'm going to give it a shot and just draw it. And I think it turned out really well. The swords are bent, but I really like how she looks. She just looks cool. And then I drew another muscly lady, and then I tried to draw another muscly lady. She's still my favourite, but I really like her as well. Some more random stuff. Okay, this is a page where it's going nowhere. Just going nowhere. This is what a page looks like for me when it's a disaster, where it's just nothing's happening, nothing good is happening. I don't mind this one here, but this one was horrific. But don't like you as well. But it's all part of the process, and that's the thing, because this here, and then I'll do stuff that I like. It may take a page that I dislike to then, because I quite like this guy. Oops. I quite like this guy here. He's just cool. He's a vibe. Some Spider-Man studies, because I really like the style that they do Spider-Man's comics in. It's just so dynamic, so cool. Now this is another awkward page where not much is going anywhere. I don't mind this one, but like this page here, where I'm going nowhere, where I'm just sticking in dark lines everywhere because I'm not doing details or any sort of detail. I don't mind this one that much, but here's the thing. This page then brings me these. Now these are probably some of my favourite drawings in the sketchbook. I started off with this one and I was like, where did this style come from? And then I followed it up with a Robert Sheehan, who looks adorable in this drawing, and I was like, I'm feeling confident, let's draw Andrew Garfield. Now, a little thing about Andrew Garfield is he is an enigma when it comes to me being able to draw him. He's almost such a unique face that if you get something wrong, it just throws the entire proportions off. But this is the sort of thing in my new sketchbook I'd love to colour if I could, because, they're just beautiful. These are probably my favourites in the sketchbook. I don't mind some of these. This was supposed to be Tom Sturridge, but it doesn't really look like him that much, but I don't mind the drawing nevertheless. We have another just person. Don't like him as much, but I quite like this one. Yeah, we don't talk about her. Here's another one. You can see I quite like drawing fashiony stuff. It's just cool. They're just a vibe. Then we have some other stuff. I don't know what that's referring to. There is a light. I often just... okay. But basically, I often just sketch down random notes like this that I probably won't come back to. That's the reality. So these were my goals, my art goals for the year. I haven't actually done any of them yet, but you know, it's still early. And this was me trying to create a gouache piece again. And furthermore, by this paper just made me go, I can't do gouache in the sketchbook. It's just not good for it. Like, it's strange. It's just strange. Like, it was just struggle. And when you're learning gouache, it's not helpful when you're learning any medium for your mediums to be fighting with each other, if that makes sense. So you'll see what happens. Okay, focus on these for now. Now, I love this sketch. I quite like this sketch. I'm not the biggest fan of this one, but these two I quite like. So I tried another gouache artwork. Yeah, so the gouache wasn't going well. Then I decided to make it worse by using a pen. But yeah, it's all part of the learning process. So, to make up for that tragedy, I then went and just did some pencil sketches. Now, the rest of the sketchbook is pencil. It was comfy, it was just something I could rely on. Some cool references. I drew a horse. I haven't drawn a horse in a while, so I drew another horse. And yeah, cool references that I'd love to do again. This here, I started watching Ghosts. I don't have many Ghost drawings in here, but I want to do more. We have Pat. I quite like the likeness of this Pat. It's pretty simple, but I quite like it. The same can't be said for this Mary. I did her really dirty. And then this is Kitty. Oh, Kitty has the most adorable smile that I just can't properly capture, but I really hope to, but I tried my best. And here's another drawing of I forgot his name. But yeah, I quite like this as well. Here's some other random stuff, I guess. We have this sketch, and then we have two Bowies. For context, I actually treat a lot of these sketches like I'm doing them in pen. For example, I didn't have an eraser while doing this or this. And here's a steed. Now, I really struggle with drawing steed. I really want to know how to draw steed, but he's just... Fan artists do it so beautifully. They draw him so beautifully, and here I am, just doing it horrifically. So this is for 6 fan arts. Here are... I struggle with likeness, but I'm glad I'm able to get there somewhere. So Daredevil, I did some pencil sketches, and this one actually turned out to be the final piece. And there's some other ones that I don't mind. As you can see, little hearts. Here's Benoit Blanc. He is so hard to draw in terms of likeness. Like, I love this little sketch though. That's probably one of my favorites on this page, this little sketch. And I don't mind this one too. It's not my favorite, but I don't mind it. This one, I don't mind the body. It's just the face that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I just left it. I was like, I redrew it, and then I was like, yeah, I can't be bothered. We have some random people. I don't mind these either, they're pretty cute. And we have Frenchie, and oh, I'm so happy with these. This one was the one I decided to take to the next level, but I'm just happy with these all together. They're just adorable. Here's some Jims. Now Jim is hard to draw as well. Oh, like, Jim's a person who goes through like a few different appearances in the show as well, so I just struggle to draw Jim. And here's Lestat. Lestat is hard to get the expression as intense as how the amazing Sam acts and portrays him as. Like, this is not that intense, and I want it to be more intense, and it's the same with this, but I quite like this one though. Here's another Lestat. It actually isn't too bad, but then I kind of struggled here because what happened was the photo ended here, except this all is quite dark, so I didn't have much to do. Here is me trying to draw Steed again. I struggle. I'm really trying. I'll probably have to dedicate like a few pages of my new sketchbook to Steed. Here are another Jim and Oluwando. and then a Lucius, a bit random, but you know, I quite like how I drew him. Some hands. Now, I'm not notoriously good at drawing hands, so I was like, let's draw some hands, and honestly, they turned out quite well. I did some more hands. I was sort of losing inspiration at this part of the sketchbook, hence why now I'm drawing hands. And here's a Ed. I find Ed hard to draw as well. I find the others actually, like Frenchie, relatively easy, for example, but Ed, they just are so specific that I just struggle. So onwards. Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of ideas for this page, and you can see me starting to trying to put squiggles and like other elements in. As you can see, the 16th I just did this, and then the 18th I did these, but I don't mind this one, but in general it's just kind of not much. But then I did this, and I actually quite like this. This one's my favorite. I was drawing this sketch and I was really happy with it, and I did some more, and I was just sort of in the zone, and you know, but yeah, this is my favorite for sure, but I don't have that much to say about the others. Yeah, we're nearing the end, very close. And these are just some more portraits. I tried an expression. I'm trying to do more expressions rather than just like, as you can see, lips. So we have an expression, I have another face, we have some plants, we have a person, and this is my final sort of spread. They're not related to each other in any way, they're just two fashiony type drawings that actually work well together, because I did this one and I was like, what am I going to do next? Because I always do this. I get to the end of my sketchbook and I'm like, so looking forward to my next sketchbook that I just start giving up. But I'm happy to say that this sketchbook is finished. And let me just tell you something about this. This is almost ironic considering most of my sketches have been portraits. And then to do something without a face, it's very different. But I'm actually really happy with this. This is fun. This is such a fun drawing, and it's simplistic but it has detail. And yeah, so this sketchbook took me 2 months, and I'm really looking forward to being able to do more gouache, because I picked out the Stillman and Byrne sketchbook, which actually is designed for mixed media, which I'm really looking forward to. And I'm also in the future wanting to embark on bigger sketchbooks, but for now I find the best sketchbooks, if you're just trying to finish a sketchbook, they're going to be smaller, okay? It's the reality of it. You're not going to be inspired when you have, if you're not inspired when you have a small page in front of you, you're not going to be inspired when you have a massive page in front of you. So yeah, I'm hoping that you enjoy it. I'm sorry if this was rough, or because it was, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, but I hope you have a fantastic day, fantastic night, whatever you're doing, and you keep an eye out for the next sketchbook tour.